Hello everyone and welcome back to IMO Reviews. Today we are discussing Dream Scenario. Paul Matthews is your everyday quiet professor type who suddenly finds fame after people claim to be dreaming about him in unison. I've been very excited to see this movie. Let's dive straight into the positives. The first one being that I thought the performances here were really solid all round. Nicolas Cage is really subtle and underplayed here. It's a very well explored character. I don't know if it's quite good enough to be a Best Actor nominee, but I would go as far as saying that it's his best performance since Pig. I really enjoyed the editing throughout. I thought it was quite nuanced and subtle. And there's some wonderful cinematography here, especially when we come to the dream sequences. I think they're quite interesting. They do feel believable, which I can also say about the story. I thought it was really interesting and just a very unique, with a really clear metaphor for society, celebrity, cancel culture, and even bringing in some of those human psychology and nature elements, which I think really deepened this material. And a lot of what Dream Scenario explores is both true and relatable. It does have this angry and frustrated edge to it about society, as it should, because it's stupid. And Dream Scenario really is just getting it off its chest, but doing it without actually pointing fingers at anybody. It keeps it relatable and sympathetic for the audience to have their own say on the matter. But personally, I found a lot of it to really hit home. People will make a celebrity out of anyone, and then we will throw them away 5 minutes later. I mean, do you remember Salt Bae? When he first appeared on the scene, you had footballers doing the most cringe football celebration of all time, and then 2 years later he's at the World Cup final and people are pissing themselves laughing on Twitter saying this guy would turn up to the opening of a bag of crisps. Everyone just hates him now, I guess. And he's just one example. I mean, I could go on about bloody Love Island and how many people have come off of that desperate for fame. It is a subject that I think about a lot. It is something that annoys me a lot. So I did find myself very much in tandem with Dream Scenario's thinking, which obviously will have helped my viewing experience. But also I thought there was a very good level of humour to the film as well. I don't think it's ever laugh out loud funny, but there's definitely a few awkward moments that you can't help but titter and scoff at. And I won't go into spoilers, but I really loved the ending. I thought it was both honest and refreshing. I do a lot of writing in my own time, and sometimes I feel like it does detract from my viewing experiences, because I find myself looking for things, plot devices, Chekhov's guns, those unsubtle pieces of dialogues that stick out like a sore thumb and you know full well are going to come back around at the end. And I can't tell you how nice it was to be surprised by it for a change. I didn't see it coming, and boy did it work for me, because I thought it was just both incredibly sweet, honest, and equally poignant and human in meaning. But I do have 2 or 3 very small complaints to make. One of them being that I do think the movie actually could have gone a bit wilder, especially with its dream scenarios. Don't get me wrong, they absolutely have some fun and show a lot of imagination, and they do bring it to life very well, but I am a little bit surprised they don't go completely off the deep end with it. I did have some expectancy that it would, and I don't know if I'm pleased or disappointed that it didn't. I can appreciate the reasons why it doesn't, but I think it would have been fun to go further. And equally, I do think it is a little bit rushed just in places, especially towards the end. There are moments where they could have gone deeper in explanation, but even then, I can live with it because I do think it's intentional. Because in reality, we don't always get the answers. And generally speaking, we do just accept and go along with it. And I also think it plays out as a representation of life coming at you quick. I'm going to give Dream Scenario a 10 out of 10. I know, you probably didn't see that coming. Even Mrs. IMO was a little surprised to hear it was getting the 10 out of 10. She had it scored as a high 8, a low 9, and I might lower it to a 9 on a rewatch, and I could just be gushing really hard because a film I was excited about actually delivered. My good friend Mike at Did You See That had some issues with the ending. I just saw his review before setting this one up. Go check it out. And equally, Mark Commode, all hail the king, also had some difficulties with the ending. And I can see that, honestly I can. I personally was just able to roll with it though. I personally saw it as being quite funny and tongue-in-cheek. It didn't bother me too much, but I could totally see it bothering others. And like I said, perhaps I'm a little bit overhyped on this one, but I really have to acknowledge that this was one of my favourite cinema experiences this year. Without a shadow of a doubt. This is what I want from cinema. I want fresh, I want innovative. I want to watch a movie that has something to say. I want to laugh, I want to cry. And I want to walk out the cinema with a big smile on my face and excited to talk about the film. And Dream Scenario absolutely ticked those boxes for me. Thank you for watching this review. Please be sure to hit that like button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and please do hit the comment section as well. Have you seen Dream Scenario? What did you think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. And of course, if you haven't had enough of this crazy ginger, well, you can always click on these suggested videos right here and get yourself lost in an IMO wormhole. But if not, take care, and I look forward to seeing you on the next review.